Hey everyone, welcome back to Edu Expert, your smart learning hub. Ukraine has recently conducted two significant strikes that have drawn global attention due to their strategic precision and impact. While the term, massive strikes, may sound dramatic, the reality lies in carefully planned military operations aimed at disrupting critical supply lines rather than causing indiscriminate damage. Supply chains, both on land and at sea, are the backbone of any military operation, ensuring the continuous flow of equipment, fuel, and essential resources to frontline units. By targeting these logistical networks, Ukraine has demonstrated a high level of strategic understanding, focusing on the infrastructure that supports military operations rather than civilians or residential areas. The first strike, focused on land routes, involved key railways and transport hubs, effectively slowing down troop movements and resupply missions. Meanwhile, the second strike aimed at maritime supply chains, impacting ports and shipping lanes critical for the movement of equipment. Together, these actions show a coordinated effort to weaken operational capabilities without directly targeting civilian populations, which aligns with international standards for conflict reporting. This introduction sets the stage for understanding the larger impact of such strikes, highlighting the importance of supply chain management in modern warfare. It is essential to view these developments through an analytical lens, recognizing both the tactical execution and the broader strategic consequences. By presenting the information in a factual, non-sensationalized manner, viewers gain insights into how contemporary conflicts are shaped by logistics and planning, rather than merely by frontline battles. To fully understand the significance of these strikes, it is important to grasp the role of supply chains in modern military operations. Supply chains encompass all the routes, methods, and systems used to move essential materials from storage facilities to frontline units. This includes railways, roads, ports, and other logistical nodes. Russia, like many large militaries, depends heavily on these systems to maintain the efficiency of its operations. Interruptions in supply chains can cause delays in equipment deployment, shortages in fuel, and complications in maintaining operational readiness. Ukraine's strategy in targeting these networks highlights an advanced understanding of asymmetric warfare, where strategic disruption can yield significant advantages. By focusing on infrastructure rather than direct confrontation, Ukraine aims to weaken operational capabilities without engaging in unnecessary risk or escalation. This approach also aligns with international norms and reporting standards, avoiding actions that could be considered indiscriminate or civilian-targeted. Observers can note that modern conflicts increasingly involve this type of indirect impact, where logistics and supply management play as critical a role as battlefield tactics. The strikes reflect a calculated effort to influence the broader theater of conflict, illustrating how modern warfare often emphasizes strategic planning, efficiency, and careful allocation of resources. For viewers, this context provides clarity on why such strikes matter, beyond the immediate visual impact or news headlines. Understanding these dynamics allows a more informed perspective on ongoing military developments, highlighting how infrastructure, planning, and precision operations can shape the outcome of conflicts. This sets the stage for a closer look at the individual impacts of land and sea strikes. The first of Ukraine's recent strategic operations focused on land-based supply routes that are critical to Russia's military logistics. These included key rail lines, highways, and transport hubs, which carry equipment, ammunition, and essential provisions to frontline units. By targeting these specific infrastructures, Ukraine aimed to slow the movement of resources without directly affecting civilian populations, adhering to international standards of conflict reporting. The strikes disrupted major rail connections in regions that serve as logistical arteries for military operations, causing temporary halts in convoys and delays in troop reinforcements. Analysts suggest that such targeted disruptions can have a cascading effect. When one transport hub is incapacitated, the entire supply chain suffers delays, reducing operational efficiency and strategic flexibility. Importantly, these strikes illustrate the concept of asymmetric warfare, where smaller forces can leverage precision and timing to create significant challenges for larger military powers. The land strikes also emphasized intelligence and planning, as Ukraine needed to identify which routes were most critical to Russia's operations and strike them without triggering widespread collateral damage. This strategic approach not only demonstrates military precision but also highlights how modern conflicts are increasingly shaped by logistical planning rather than just direct battlefield engagements. For viewers, understanding these land-based operations provides insight into the broader implications of supply chain disruption, showing how infrastructure can be a decisive factor in contemporary military strategy. Presenting this information in a factual, neutral, and diplomatic tone ensures compliance with YouTube guidelines while keeping the content informative, engaging, and visually interpretable for video animations or educational graphics. The second strategic operation conducted by Ukraine focused on maritime supply routes, which play a crucial role in transporting military equipment, fuel, and other essential materials. Ports and sea lanes are vital nodes in any military logistics network, and by temporarily disrupting them, Ukraine was able to create delays and logistical challenges for Russian forces. Importantly, these actions were targeted at infrastructure rather than civilian ships or populations, maintaining a neutral and educational perspective suitable for global audiences. Analysts note that the impact of such disruptions goes beyond immediate delays. Ships waiting at ports or being rerouted can result in cascading effects, delaying the delivery of critical resources to frontline units and complicating operational planning. The strikes also highlight the importance of strategic foresight, intelligence, and precise execution, as maritime operations involve complex coordination and timing. By focusing on these supply routes, Ukraine demonstrates the modern principle of asymmetric warfare, where well-planned indirect actions can significantly affect a larger adversary's operational capability. For viewers, understanding the sea-based operations emphasizes how military strategy is not only about battlefield engagements but also about controlling, influencing, and disrupting logistical networks. Presenting this information in a clear, factual, and non-sensationalized manner ensures compliance with YouTube guidelines while providing insight into modern military planning. The focus on infrastructure, supply chains, and strategic logistics allows audiences to grasp the broader operational consequences of the strikes, showing how careful planning can amplify the effects of targeted actions without unnecessary escalation. When examining the overall effect of Ukraine's dual strikes on land and sea, it becomes clear that these operations have significantly disrupted Russian supply chains and operational efficiency. While each strike individually caused delays and logistical challenges, together they created a compounded effect that highlights the strategic importance of coordinated operations. On land, critical railways and transport hubs were temporarily incapacitated, slowing troop movements and delaying the delivery of essential equipment. At sea, maritime routes and ports faced disruptions that forced rerouting and delays, further straining the flow of supplies. Analysts emphasize that such simultaneous disruptions create a cascading impact. When multiple nodes in a supply network are affected, the overall operational capacity is reduced, complicating planning and resource allocation. Importantly, these strikes were carried out with a focus on infrastructure, avoiding direct civilian harm, which aligns with international standards and ensures that the reporting remains diplomatic and neutral. This combined strategy demonstrates the modern principles of asymmetric warfare, where smaller forces can leverage precise, coordinated actions to create significant operational challenges for a larger adversary. For viewers, understanding the combined impact provides a broader perspective on how military operations extend beyond direct engagement on the battlefield. It highlights the role of logistics, planning, and strategic foresight in shaping outcomes. Presenting this information in a factual, non-sensationalized manner ensures compliance with YouTube guidelines while keeping the content engaging and educational. Overall, the dual strikes underscore how infrastructure and supply chain management are critical factors in contemporary conflicts, demonstrating that carefully executed operations can have far-reaching consequences even without direct combat escalation. In conclusion, Ukraine's recent dual strikes on land and sea demonstrate the strategic importance of logistics and supply chain management in modern military operations. By carefully targeting key transport routes, railways, and ports, Ukraine was able to create significant operational challenges for Russian forces without endangering civilian populations. These operations highlight the principles of precision and asymmetric strategy, where focused actions can produce broad effects on a larger adversary's capabilities. For viewers, it is essential to understand that modern conflicts are not only shaped by battlefield engagements but also by the ability to manage, disrupt, and control critical infrastructure. The combined impact of land and sea strikes emphasizes how coordination, intelligence, and planning can amplify the effects of targeted operations. Presenting this information in a factual and neutral manner ensures compliance with YouTube guidelines, making it suitable for educational and informative content. By focusing on infrastructure, strategic planning, and logistical networks, the audience gains insight into the broader operational consequences of these strikes. These developments provide a clear example of how modern military strategy integrates multiple dimensions, land, sea, and logistics, to achieve objectives efficiently and effectively. As the situation continues to evolve, observers and analysts will likely study these operations as a model of strategic planning in contemporary conflicts. Ending the video with this perspective ensures that viewers leave with a comprehensive understanding of the tactical and operational significance of Ukraine's actions, while keeping the content neutral, educational, and engaging.